We are now active. So, just to quickly recap, what we were aiming to talk about today is how. Okay, so the wiki, it's not great right now, but it's fine, and that there's an ongoing project that we're starting up to solve some of that. But wiki, just as a
40
format,
people.
is not great for ongoing stuff. Like, it's great for things that have already happened. It's terrible for ongoing research. So we talked last time about what we could be using instead to organize links and notes and statistics and all that sort of thing on ongoing attempts. So everyone said that they would look into options for knowledge-based software and that sort of thing, and we would come together and try to decide on one as a group that we could then all use to organize our efforts as we move forward from here. The primary 3 or 4 people who were really knowledge-based people who said they would look more heavily into it are all not here. I don't know who or
Well, that's
how much
unfortunate.
anyone else did look into it. Did anyone have an opportunity to look at some stuff over the week?
I had an opportunity, but I didn't do that. Like I'm not pretty good at those kind of things.
I mean, I remember
But I did
looking
have a
into
lot
it
of
for
free
previous
time.
years and coming up with like no software is really that I could find last year. So
Well, do we have at least passable? We don't have to have perfect.
Just got to be good enough. The main
Yeah.
issue we were running into last time is that all of the ones that had all of the features we wanted were heavily monetized. Like, we found one which was amazing. It was like anyone could create pretty much almost ticket style of this is a topic, and once they had, anyone could use the same form to like put in bits of information to it, and then those would go through a mod team who just had to click accept or reject, and it would go into this like knowledge base that everyone could then go look at and that sort of thing. The problem is it was $50 a person per year.
Oh.
have we considered Trello?
There was some conversation about Trello. Someone mentioned Trello last time, and all the knowledge base people flipped shit at them.
Yeah.
It's just kind of ass.
I had a yeah, no, we're not going to do anything monetized, guys, in the who are talking in voice
Oh,
posting
there's
server.
an open source version of Trello called weKan, by the way.
Okay.
Which is
I'm
actually,
gonna
in my
link
opinion, a lot better.
I'm gonna link something that our good friend Onan, if everyone knows Onan, was looking into. It's called WebJets. It's a it's kind of like it's like sets up almost like a desktop that you can drag information onto and organize into lists and categories. He made an example one just very quickly. I'm posting it in voice posting right now. Everyone wants to take a look. You can click on plots and it'll like expand it into all of the statistical analysis, where you can collapse it kind of thing. And all of these, if you were logged in, can be moved around and reorganized and stuff. It's not the worst. I feel like it would fall apart at like really large numbers of people, which we have. I don't know how many people are on the server now. I feel like it's a lot. It was 1,000 last time I checked.
Yeah, so it'd probably be a lot of people that would join that website. But it is I like the design a lot. Pretty intuitive.
There's some videos and stuff on the I'll link the main page. Oh, we're at almost 11:50. Damn. They've got some videos up there of just like what using it looks like, so you don't all have to like log in right now to test around on it, but it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. What was the free version you were talking about, Taiwo?
Oh, it's called weKan. WEKAN.
Let's take a look.
Basically, just host it yourself, and it's got a lot more features than Trello has. I know paid-only features and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can make sub-boards for every card, which is nuts.
And important for this sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, you can fractal it. I'm not sure about having people's access be like, what do you do in like in like Google Docs where you type something and then someone has to approve it. I don't know if anything like that exists, but you can definitely move cards between boards and stuff like that. So you could maybe have like a mod controlled board and then someone in control of like moving the cards between that, and then people submitting cards to like a public board.
Interesting. I really like that idea. But sorry, you said you weren't sure if it had that?
No, I am sure that you can move cards between boards, but I'm not sure if there's like a board that you can have where people can just write a card mock-up and like submit it, and someone can just accept them all.
Right.
Which would be the best.
That
way
would
to
be
do
the
it,
best.
in my.
What did you just link us, Owl? Also, when did you rename yourself?
I don't think that's the original owl.
Is it not?
What?
No,
What?
it's someone else.
Oh my
That's not the
God.
German owl.
Yeah, no,
That's another.
I'm not the other owl.
Oh my God. Too many owls.
I've been mostly just listening and not talking a
Fair
lot,
enough.
but
Taiwo, what software
The-
are you about? I was AFK.
WEKAN. weKan.
Yeah, what are we trying to achieve with it though?
Oh, like organizing, solving attempts in action.
As people come up with new...
Trello would probably be your best bet.
Well,
weKan is
open
basically
source
the same
Trello.
as Trello, but with more features, and we can host it ourselves.
Ah, right.
the link that I posted
Have you
is
checked
for.
Publicator?
Sorry, the link
Sorry?
that I posted to answer your question
Mhm.
is for a Kanban board system built into GitHub. I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah, there is one of those, but it's really shit.
Oh, is it?
From my experience, but from using it like when it came out, so maybe it's improved since then, but it's from what I remember, it's extremely basic in terms of like functionality of it's a Kanban board in the sense that you can have cards with content and move them between columns, but weKan has stuff like checklists, attachments, deadlines, like inside of a card is like a whole web page, and you can basically just do a whole bunch of stuff inside of an individual card, and including having sub cards for subtasks and stuff like that. So
Might be very...
The one, sorry,
No, go on.
the one I'm most familiar with, the one that Wikipedia designed, it's called Wikimedia, and they actually use it in the fandom set of wikis. So the Uncovering Cicada wiki that's up right now, it technically uses like a version of Wikimedia.
Yeah.
So it might
Yeah.
be too basic. I don't know if it's less powerful than weKan. I just thought that's the only one I know of.
See, I think the main reason in the past we haven't been always a fan of Wikimedia is just like for wiki pages and stuff like that, there's kind of a learning curve to making it actually readable and not horrible.
Sure.
Like it's the one main issue I've run into is that the average person's first page on any sort of wiki based thing tends to be horrible.
Fair enough.
What is
on the flip side, weKan supports Markdown,
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh, that's freaking nice.
which is fucking lovely.
Yes.
Thanks, Fabricator.
It's also open source in a way that's like super easy to modify. So if there were like a feature that we really wanted, like card submission or whatever, like I think it's written in Python, and like it's just like a little. It might be Node.js. I don't know. If it's Node.js, fuck that. But if it's Python, like I could give it a stab at adding it, or we could make a little development team for adding features to a little weekend server or something.
That's a pretty good idea. My one worry with that, because that idea has come up a bit in the past, is it's kind of hard to make people commit to stopping solving for a little while and instead go work on something else while everyone else goes on, kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think we're at the stage in Cicada where we're getting, we're not days away from getting major breakthroughs and that sort of thing. So it's not like it was in 2014 where if you stop for 2 days to develop something for the community, everything you had been looking at may be solved, and
someone's done it. Someone's done the whole thing manually.
Yeah.
Like that's happened a few times where
usually
I'm like,
SolSeeker.
yeah, exactly. Like you've developed something to like process all of the images like in one like thing and in one program, and by the time you've developed it, someone's gone through them all and applied it manually, like
Yeah.
on paper.
On paper. That was the thing that always blew my mind. Is we'd
Oh,
be like
someone-
trying tools and like he would go and solve it on paper and then send us
Yeah.
a photo of his notebook with the solved
Yeah.
page on it. And we're like,
Yeah,
what the?
get his fucking abacus out. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm kind of liking the weKan idea. So there's immediate barriers is like we'd have to host it ourselves, right?
I have a server we could use.
I was about to say, does someone have a server we could use? Also,
I could probably put it up right now. Actually,
Oh,
I
okay.
could just get up a. I can't run it in Docker. That's like my preferred way because I'm using like OpenVZ, but I could probably get like a version of it running.
The second question I think is as or more important for us. Is how does it handle, like, is it accounts? Like, do people need to make accounts? Can we force
Yes,
that?
you need an account, but there's a bunch of account options. You can
Okay.
use socials, but you could also use email
Okay.
and.
Just don't forget to hash the passwords.
I don't think Ty was gonna forget to hash the passwords.
I already
Oh.
checked that the passwords are hashed by default.
Okay. Because the main thing, my concern is that like we need. I feel like we need accounts because let's be honest, it's this community. At some point, we're gonna have to ban someone from changing things.
Mhm.
So like that level of control, I think, is going to be important. The second question is, let's say someone with an account decides to be a dick, like they always are on our wiki, and goes
Like when someone Control A deletes a Titan pad.
Yes, what happens then on weKan?
Everything is in a similar way to the Titan pad clones now. Is like
Oh, we can
every
step
action is
backwards.
stored. It's 100% impossible in the UI to delete a card. There's only archiving.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then it's got like a full activity log, and you can also, I believe, rewind to specific points in time
Perfect.
because
Okay.
of that feature. Yeah.
Does anyone have anything against weKan?
Nope.
Wow.
Not that I know of.
Good
we
because
just-
I've already looked into setting it up.
Do we just like sit down and in 15 minutes make a solution and start doing it? That's unlike us. Like
I mean, we
that.
still need a system in order to use the weKan like effectively.
Yeah, like that's
at
the
once
next
I-
question.
It will be like a 0 column, 0 card thing that someone's gonna have to figure out. Like, where does everything go?
Right. So that's the next thing that we should talk about probably is how to organize it. And I currently feel like we should do it the same, because you said you can do sub boards of it, right?
Yeah, you can have as many boards as you like, and you can also have cards that are their own board.
Perfect. So
That
I
makes
think the organization scheme that I think works probably the best is what we're already using for channels on Liber Primus. Is we split them into all of those sections, as well as like the general, the red book stuff people are doing, the deep web hash, that sort of thing. And then we make each of those a sub board.
Like a Reddit.
What was that? What was about the Reddit?
Personally, I was thinking the whole subboard, sort of use it like a subreddit sort of thing.
Yeah. And like, so we have a subboard for each of our channel topics, and then as things are worked on that regard, you would make it as a card on that subboard, and it would be pretty easy to like kind of reorganize them into like groups. And if we start getting too many on one particular topic, then we can like recursively, I assume, subboard within that subboard of that topic, which I think
Yeah, that'd be cool.
is
The
gonna be
other-
great.
The other cool thing about having each solving attempt as its own board, as a sub board of a larger board, is that we could, for example, move a solving attempt from like wacky moonshot idea into like plausible, and then from plausible to like onto something, and then onto something to like verified, like
Yay, we
has
solved the
solutions.
Primus.
Yeah.
To like solve.
That'll
That'll be an empty column.
In reference to that, is there a way of adding like tags to them, color tags maybe?
100%. Yeah. Any
Uh,
number of
I was
color
thinking-
tags.
Yeah, I was thinking color tags might be the way to go, that any moderator can add on to them, or anyone in particular.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Depending on how the permission system works, which I'm looking into at the moment.
It's WEKAN, QWERTY.
I could just post a link to their homepage, I suppose, in the voice chat.
Yes, that's the one, Owl. Hour.
Oh, yeah,
Tylo,
there it
when
is.
you get a sec, DMs.
Yeah, no problem.
Are you walking somewhere, Ryan?
Yes, to the bus stop to go to work.
Okay.
Something to consider. I think we need some people willing to dedicate their time to organize the things, because I'm not gonna assume that everyone is gonna be as organized about things as other people, and we might just end up having pages upon pages like we have on the wiki, and it's gonna be just as messy.
Yeah, we'll put the main organization scheme in, and hopefully that'll be a start. And then we'll see how people end up using that. But yes, we might need people who go back through once in a while and reorganize things into the proper places if people aren't using it correctly.
I don't mind doing that.
Yeah, that can be my job if you need it.
Okay, yeah, we can get a few people who volunteer for that. Who was that? That was Puck and Harlock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
By the way,
I could help.
have you looked into Fabricator? I think it supports many plugins, and I'm pretty sure it can do all the stuff you need. We used to use it in my previous job.
Sorry, what was it called?
Fabricator, PH.
Do you have a link to it? It didn't show up right away.
Yeah, give me a second.
Am I still low?
Are you still what?
Oh my fucking god.
People
So
are
I was
saying-
looking into domain names, and I was going to ask you which one of my existing domain names we.
Yeah.
However, actually, just let me buy it first before I
Okay.
before I gloat about which domain name I got.
Because someone might go steal it while you're talking about
Exactly.
it. Thanks, Bit.
No problem.
Hell yeah. Rosie the Rune Solver.
See the rune solver.
Can we make that a fucking emoji, please?
Yes. Yes, we can. There we go. This is gonna be better. Have you got the domain name yet?
Pop into voice posting.
Voice post.
Oh no.
Amazing.
Oh, also, are we definitely going to be using weKan?
Pretty much unless someone has a complaint about it or a better idea.
Well, considering I
Okay.
think Taiwo's already brought the domain name for it.
Oh, well,
I don't think
yes.
That's got.
I can post anything on that, but yeah.
What's
the name?
So I'm going to leave. If you guys need help
Check voice
organizing it
posting.
later, I'll definitely do it.
Was that Puck?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Awesome. Oh my god, I'm actually starting to remember people's voices. I will let you know.
I'm just.
I bet you haven't got used to mine yet.
Oh, I know yours.
Yours is pretty distinct.
Yeah, annoying fuck.
Alright, see y'all.
Yeah.
Like, ain't a good fucker. Indeed.
Pick a name, it's creeping me out. He has a name. If you click on him, he's got a role, which is his username.
Yeah, can someone make it so that we can tag that bloody role, please?
I mean, you can also just ping mods.
Well, I mean, in order to tag Taiwo, I had to look completely up the chat just to find him so I could click on his name and mention him.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, the only other way that I think you can do that is I could make another server in Discord where I have the username Taiwo, and then when you're adding me, it will tap complete Taiwo to my user.
No, it won't.
Only if you're in a server where I have that as my nickname.
Even then, it wouldn't fully work.
So are we gonna get on topic?
As soon
We've been on
as-
topic for ages.
Yeah, we're just waiting for him to finish that.
We're just waiting for Taiwo to do his job for once.
Ooh. Wait, you're waiting for me to set up weKan? Holy shit.
I mean,
be here a while.
I'll pay a lot more attention to what I'm doing in that case. I'm currently sitting here trying to decide what the password for the weKan user should be.
Amazing.
I'm like, trying to think of something good, and now I'm thinking just like, fuck, password!
I mean, we can talk about organizing it without...
Well, I've just thought of it already. Username 3301 admin. Password 3301.
Or 1033.
That's not as fun. I disagree with that one.
Because, like, it's classic because, used to have root as the username and the password as Tor as, like, the backwards username in a lot of, offerings.
I like it.
But that's not going to be what I'm going to use because it would be great if everybody didn't have the admin log.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I was gonna say, shouldn't it probably be something that not everyone knows?
Don't worry. I have a vague grasp on security to someone.
Yeah, we need to take Owl's
Password's
voice.
probably going to be 1234 now.
We have to take a recording of Owl's voice and then get the binary from it and run that through like an ASCII, like binary to ASCII converter, and then that's your password.
Whoa.
It's perfect.
I mean, I'm just gonna use my password manager, but I love the thought.
Oh, Herlock, I didn't realize that you'd sent it to me. I thought you were gonna post it in voice.
It's okay.
Originally...
Eagle, I think people are willing to undertake.
Nox, I've sent you the same DM that I sent Taiwo about the bots, just
Sounds
so
good.
you've got it as well.
Thanks. I will take a look.
Cool.
This looks
Alright.
fairly similar to what we're setting up. Like a fabricator. Looks like another in the same style. Is there any particular reason to go with it over what we're talking about?
What's being suggested? Can I take a look?
Fabricator.
Has it been posted somewhere?
I will post it right.
Several people are typing.
So, are we ruling out the idea that we need an approval system because we can't trust? It'd be hard to like get a bunch of people to trust.
We're not ruling that out, no. An approval system is definitely in consideration no matter what. Whether it's going to be feasible, we'll see, but it's at least something that we're considering. For now, the fact accounts are necessary is a first step.
Okay. Have you? There's also
go on.
There's a voting. We could use like a voting system.
That's possible. Is there one built in?
I'm not sure. I mean,
What I was thinking the other night when we had a bit of a hoo-ha in one of the work groups, it might be worth having a couple of password-protected channels that only mods can move people into, for like the people that are like really stuck into it. Because
Anybody want to look into Eagle's feed?
What?
Eagle in the voice chat. Anybody? He's got some concerns.
Yeah,
I think Nox addressed those, didn't he?
I don't think we need to look into him as such. Is he here? Is he here? No, he's not here. Nox, did you get that Twitter screenshot that I sent you earlier?
I don't think so, no. Oh yeah. I did. Sorry, I just remembered what you were talking about. I
It's
did.
so ironic, isn't it?
It's overwhelming. I will
Did
talk
you
to you
look at
about
the
that
bio of
another
it?
time, because we're still recording this for
Oh yeah.
the future.
Whoops.
Hey, another suggestion too, really quick, for the Discord as opposed to whatever else. We might want to have some extra rooms that are locked from certain people, and get some roles going depending on what you've contributed and or how long you've been here, and then you can access certain rooms based on that. Because some people who've been here for a while might want to hop into a private room and discuss some things or work on some things without random people jumping in there and interrupting them.
Yeah, I mean, the work groups were supposed to solve that problem, but it doesn't particularly handle well if one person's driving you crazy. I mean, the ideal answer to that is have enough moderators that a mod is on that you could just grab and be like, hey, get rid of this guy. He's driving us crazy.
Yeah, true.
We just we don't necessarily have that right now, so that's definitely something to at least consider.
Yeah, I was thinking there might be some other uses for it as well. So I don't know. Yeah, that might be something to consider. I don't know. I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Eagle, I just read your stuff. Consider to take intelligible moderation to manage a forum designed. Yeah, I mean, it's a near infinite amount of ideas. I think that's what Taiwo was talking about the like sorting them based on feasibility or like whether we're actively working on them kind of thing. Like have a default, everyone's first idea is tagged as just an idea, and then we'll have hopefully tag them up as they become a thing that gets more, feasible that we're all actually working on. I don't know. I don't know how much extra work that's going to take, but if we did have a few people who had offered to try to keep the thing clean.
Yeah, my only concern would be with forums, just like they trail off. And the only thing I could think that's feasibly a solution for this would be to use some sort of mind map software.
Yeah, I mean, we looked into that as well. The thing that Onan hosted was like not dissimilar to that. I mean, the one thing we were looking at that would solve this problem was some of the knowledge-based stuff that we looked at. We had the ability where only approved posts or approved submissions would show up, so everyone could submit them, and then the moderation team would go through the ones that actually made any sense, and only those would go to the knowledge base. I feel like that sort of approval system through moderation would fix the problem, but it was unclear so far from Taiwo if weKan had something like that yet.
Honestly, that's probably the best solution, just given the fact that you need some bit of moderation from the people that have been on this for the last 5 years, and then some way to organize what is a good idea and what is not a good idea. Because more often than not, like checking boxes of things that are definitely not it are going to help find what is, I would assume.
I absolutely agree. Sorry, what did you say in there, Taiwo?
I was gonna potentially say, obviously the authorized post thing is a good idea. I was gonna kind of talk about the Felicity thing really quick in relation to what I think a lot of other people's suggestions are as well. Is that Felicity seems like a jack of all trades type solution with a lot of stuff that we wouldn't necessarily need and a lot of people wouldn't necessarily be comfortable using. For example, they have a Git type thing and also a chat room and stuff like that, and that has the potential to scatter a lot of resources in places where people don't necessarily need them, when all we necessarily need is like one organizational system. But I was also going to say that if somebody does have like a particular text editor or something, or like a particular application that they like to share ideas with, if like it's like a Google Doc drawing file or something, you could just post links to that in the actual Kanban card. It's important to remember that the Kanban is not like the system that we use to work everything out, but just sort of the system we use to organize the work.
And to link everyone to that work.
Yeah, and to keep maybe like key information like at the top level so you can search it.
So did you...
you can ask me if I installed it yet.
No, because like we don't need that right now, right? I was just gonna say, did you notice if there is any sort of like approval system already in?
Oh, no. My current plan is to install it and then have a look.
And have a look. Eagles just linked us to ZenKit, which I don't know at all.
That's literally Kanban board meets mind map, which is exactly what App just explained.
Wow. I'm a little bit unnerved looking at a line that says in the config, turn on and off security. Off is currently the default.
Off is default. Oh. Oh no.
You can turn that on real quick. Just...
Up to 3 members. Yeah, that sounds good.
Free plan is up to 500 items. That might might fall apart. And 3 members. I mean, it looks like good software. That just might be
misused.
Yeah, absolutely, Eagle. I'm gonna just comment on the voting posts community thing, Qwerty, and it's gonna make me sound like an asshole. And I'm gonna do it anyway. Is if the subreddit is any particular indication, the community at large, especially as we get into the thousands of people, does not know enough about the topic to make that effective. In fact, the subreddit, I think, is the perfect example of the most popular ideas on the subreddit are the usually simplest and least useful. And I'm worried that if we leave it to a community thing, the like core, call it 100 even on the server, people who are actively working on things will know what they've attempted, what they've the statistics actually imply, and they might know well enough to vote on a system. And the other 900 people, it might be their first day in the server. They're gonna upvote things like, did you guys know that Liber Primus translates through Latin? Because to them that's a groundbreaking thing. We actually had this problem the other day on the subreddit that there were like 2 posts within an hour of each other. And one was Hazard's post fully explaining the connections through 229 to the Red Book and what possibilities there were there. And another one was it was something like, I think it might have been another one of the hey, are the runes dwarvish from Tolkien, and that second one had like 4 times as many upvotes as the connection that we've been actively working on and looking into for the last 4 days. So yeah, it's one of those cases where the base of knowledge you need to really affect it is so high that it's definitely better to have a few people approving who know a lot about the topic.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah, if
It's
you go
sad,
on the subreddit, the newest post is literally ridiculous. It's somebody like put in inverted colors and just saying it's like Chinese writing.
Oh, we get the Chinese thing probably once a week, where people do something or other, and it typically works into. This is a different one. Usually, it's people putting the hash function on the last page just through a converter into ASCII, and it ends up with some Chinese characters in it, and they were trying to like Google Translate those. That one we get probably once a week.
God.
I mean, you say that, Ronan, but like, how many people here found the Discord link through the subreddit?
It says it on the information page.
Yeah.
That's where I came from.
Yeah, so like, while there's some issues with how the subreddit's used, it's still a very important tool. If for no other reason, it's got a link to the stuff we're actually using. True. Is there seriously a Discord link on that, RGDC?
Hey, I gotta get going. I'll see y'all later.
For sure. I mean, it was a good video. He and I talked a long time about that. Pretty much in Twitter DMs to give him all the information he needed to make it. It was a fun one. I'm sure it wasn't his only source, but... Okay, so we're probably gonna go weKan then, if no one has any...
Phew.
Other, pretty much other free options. Like, there does seem like there's some other options which might be as good or better, but we also can't expect 1,000 people to pay any amount per month to keep it going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume Ronan is memeing and keep going. Because I think that's usually safe with Ronan.
Monday.com.
So, we talked the other day about the wiki as well. I haven't gone through and collected up the people who have volunteered, but just in case you didn't hear it or haven't heard the recording of the last call or anything, we're pretty much looking for enough people to volunteer to edit, like usually probably 1 or 2 pages on their own. The plan for the wiki was we get a team of people willing to pretty much just copy edit, because like the content, again, we need to be very careful of, because anything wrong on the wiki could lead to solving attempts. So rather than open up the wiki entirely for editing, pretty much what we're doing is we're putting a team together who will take a part of it or a page of it and go and design something on their own and give it to a smaller team of like the wiki admins who will then move it into place on the current wiki. If that sounds like something you're interested in helping out with, just drop your name with a ping to one of the mods in wiki, the wiki channel on Discord. And
That'd be super great, actually.
And sometime this week we'll collect up everyone who wanted to do that, and it sounded like me and Mortlock will pretty much tell each person one bit that they can copy, edit, and make more readable and make more sense in a particular format that we're gonna change to a little different format that's easier for looking up, you know, discrete pieces of information as opposed to having to dig through the story of what happened every year. And so we'll kind of assign everyone a few pieces like that. They can make something, and then he and I will go through it all for accuracy and move it into place.
Yeah, that'd be great. We could even give them like a role on Discord, and people could even submit information through those guys.
Oh, that'd be great, actually.
They could just go in and put it in the relevant space, and then we've only got to moderate like 5 or 10 people who are capable of like organizing, and if their organization sucks or if they're like memeing on the weekend or something, we can like swap them.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. Also, like, you know, some people care a lot about custom roles. So if you're a person who wants a custom role, there's a way to get one on Discord.
Yeah,
help us with the wiki. You'll be
You
immortalized.
just gotta sift through the solutions, which I would imagine the lifespan on each of the editors is probably going to be about 1 or 2. And I'm not talking about how long they'll be an editor. I'm talking about until they kill them.
I'm gonna have. I suddenly have regrets about recording this for YouTube.
I did
Wait, you're recording?
think about what I said, and that's not technically.
No, it's fine. And
that.
yes,
I said
we started.
anyone
this by
who is taxed with going through it
is gonna have a
may
bad
have
time.
suicidal tendencies. Yeah.
Yes, we said at the start that this is recorded for people who missed it. Also, it's in the title of General Voice that this may be recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that's Vito brings up a good point. It's just anyone who's kind of unclear why we're doing both. The wiki we feel like is very good for things that are already finished. We think it's awful for collaborating on things we're currently working on. So the idea is the wiki will be for checking information on things that have happened over the previously, and you can get fast lookup of information that way. Then we'll have the weKan set up so that you can look at what people are currently working on and go add to it yourself. And those will be just like a thing people will use while hanging in the work groups, and they can add information to cards. And then the next time, like let's say you're joining a work group working on one particular page or something like that, you can just check the weKan for what things have been being talked about already, and then quickly get up to speed and add your own things. It's why we want to use both of them.
Oh.
And yes, Discord and then IRC for the actual real-time communication while you're working on it.
RJ, we're currently recording a meeting. Or RG.
Had a shockingly small amount of trolling for, you know, atting everyone on an 1,100 person server. I was expecting worse. So, realistically, we're not gonna, like, it's gonna take Taiwo some time to install this and configure and come to a conclusion. Like, of how exactly it's gonna work. So is there anything else organization for people-wise that we want to talk about while we're all here?
What about like new people who don't know much about encryption and stuff? What are we gonna do with them?
Same thing we always do, which is pretty much encourage them to read through the wiki of how we got to this point and try to do some learning on their own. Obviously, I've been trying to very gradually work on tutorials on the specific tasks, like tools and tasks that they need to get into this, but as anyone who's ever seen my channel probably knows, that's been slow going.
I mean, we could place those tutorials in this knowledge base that we're going to set up.
Yeah, have a subboard for like if
yeah.
you're new, here's links to
Here's
some tutorials and things like that. I like that idea a lot.
I like the idea, yeah. It's a good idea.
So like if people with enthusiasm come in, they have something to do.
Yeah.
And not just lost without purpose.
I love that idea.
Same, yeah, there's so many people who really, really want to help, but they're like, I don't know anything about cryptography, and
but really
want to help. Their efforts will be much more better use put towards organization. That's something that like anyone with a kind of agreeable brain format can like figure out how people can intuitively find information, I guess. That was a really awkward way of putting that, but yeah.
You're saying
as opposed to having people learn cryptography from the ground up and try and like surpass everyone who's tried so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a daunting task.
Yeah, you're saying that they can contribute in meaningful ways even if they don't understand cryptography, as long as they've got the mind for the organization and that sort of thing that we might.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, and sometimes that will make like people will stop like posting on subreddits, like obviously easy things like, oh, we should like transform it to this way, like so, like with like the people on the subreddits were posting some random shit that doesn't amount to anything.
I don't know if it'll have a huge impact on that, because the people who are going to go onto the subreddit and post the first thing they ever thought of in a puzzle that they just witnessed cryptographers try for half a decade, they aren't the kind of person who's going to also go read a wiki and a knowledge base first before posting. You know, so I think we're already going to have trouble with those people regardless of how much work we do. We actually looked into that Cheesy Bites for the subreddit at least. And the issue is often you're on the site for a long time before you've heard of this, so your account is old, but you're... yeah, you just account is old, but you're new to I've told the story before, but it's gonna be horrible because it's gonna show how little I remember. But Taiwo, were you 2013 or 2014?
13.
You were 13. I thought you were 13. Good. Okay, I was right. Do you remember the hackers channel on IRC?
Yeah, 301 hackers, wasn't it? Wait, you not supposed to say
I wasn't
that.
gonna say the full name, but that's fine. Where one of the things
it's only on recording.
Yeah, it's fine. It's only going on YouTube. One of the things we looked into, and before, by the way, that channel gets like 40 people in it.
I was just gonna say, do you want to like plus I this channel before uploading the recording?
There you go. One of the things we did back then was, because it was a very specifically working on code kind of thing, we had everyone was muted by default when you went in, and we had a bot auto message you a coding challenge, and like a really simple one, but until you message back the bot the answer to it, you couldn't speak in channel.
Oh yeah, that was inform. It was exclamation mark inform this person, and then it would kick them, and then it would mute them,
and then you had to message like Marcus or somebody
No, it would send them a message with a big fucking list of like, you need to check the wiki before submitting any suggestion attempts. You need to do this and this. If you read all this and you understand, please type I understand, and then you say that to the bot, and then the bot unmutes you in solvers.
Oh, that was solvers. Yeah, no, but in hackers you had to do. Yeah.
Oh, was there
in hackers you had to do?
I didn't write that one.
It was before you could speak in it. You had to write a piece of code that would sum every prime number up to a randomized number that it gave you, and then message the answer to one of the mods.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I fucking hate aptitude tests like that. They fucking cancel, but I love the concept
of just like, we were trying to make it specifically, this was just for work, and if you just had interesting ideas, take it literally anywhere else that you can talk to people about this. So it's an interesting idea. My fear about using it for something like Discord is exactly what happened in 2013, which is eventually certain people who were commonly working together on it would just get so sick of the noise other places that all of their conversations happened in it, and thus no one ever saw any of it. So some of their ideas, which would have been great for the community and also faster if everyone had heard it instead of just their two friends, it would have been solved faster, but only their two friends heard it because they only sat in the channel that you needed to solve something to get into. It was actually, I think, if anything, it was in the long run negative, despite seeming like a good idea at the start.
I think that we shouldn't we shouldn't get angry at people for not posting what they found on to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And if people want to solve on their own,
I mean, if they want to, there's nothing stopping them doing a custom voice call or whatever. We don't need to set things up for that, I think. In the long run, the more that comes out to the community at large, the better it is for everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Nox.
Was never good in the long run.
Yeah. Hey, Nox. One thing I was talking about those locked voice channels earlier. Contrary to that, would it be possible to get chat rooms for each voice group? Because I know
we wanted to do that.
Okay, cool. Because I was gonna say, because we have so many voice groups, it's hard to keep track of what's flying.
Yeah, having only one voice posting channel for all of the work groups was a really dumb idea. It was actually not intended. It just kind of worked out that way, and then I've been watching it just fall apart all week. So I just haven't had the time to go and add the other ones. So we'll do that today for sure. I'll add a new voice posting for each work group. Anything else people in general feel like we should have and don't right now for working together. Like, we'll have the wiki set up for previous stuff, we'll have the knowledge base set up for you to post links to all of what you're currently working on as you work on it. We'll have the work groups for voice, as well as a voice posting channel for each work group in case you want to listen in but can only type. Is there anything else, like, really obvious that we're missing for all of us putting our efforts together?
Like, I know Mortlock just reset that server. Is that going to be the new place to go for that sort of?
Mortlock reset which server?
Like, he just got admin over a server that has been in existence.
The forums.
And has been
the main reason he got admin over that forums is because he's written up a lot of tutorials and stuff on there and didn't want them to get deleted or go missing. He certainly didn't expect anyone to actually go use it, because in the long run, a forum isn't quite, we think, as useful as a knowledge-based style kind of thing. It's two different solutions to the same problem, and I think we're a little past forums. But he just didn't want to. I mean, the sheer amount of spam on that was outweighing how much work he'd actually put into it. But it is there if anyone wants to go read it. It's linked in announcements, in fact. And Mortlock has done a frankly overwhelming amount of work on statistical analysis and like bigram, n-gram categorizing for the Liber Primus, and much of that has ended up on those boards. So
what is it titled in announcements?
I'm sorry?
What is it titled in announcements?
The Cicada 3301 boards. It's like one of the posts 2 or 3 back. It's by Mortlock. You'll see it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's in the meantime, until we have a knowledge base set up, here's a bunch of stuff you can read. I don't know if he's finished removing the spam, because the guy who set it up disappeared like 2 days later, and that was 6 years ago. And he like pretty much since then, the only posts on it, give or take a few counterexamples, has been Mortlock talking about like heavy kind of statistical analysis of the Liber Primus, and the rest is like Asian porn site ads and, you know, just like, it's awful. Like, the rest is just horrible spam, and there's more horrible spam than there is theories. So I think he's been cleaning it up so it's easier to find his stuff. I don't know. Is there anything else? Anything we can think of that you all have been noticing you're missing while trying to work on things that we could facilitate?
Ronan had a suggestion for 2 announcement channels. One for like recent stuff and one for like progress and events.
I'm missing a computer to work on stuff.
That I cannot help you with. I was thinking of splitting kind of the important links into a different announcements channel. I don't know if that's what Ronan's talking about. Just like the boards, the tutorial videos, the wiki, the GitHubs, the Dropbox of Liber Primus, have all of those important links for new people as one announcements thing, and then have an actual announcements channel, which is used more like what we're using announcements for right now.
Sounds probably a good idea.
Good idea, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea.
And what's about something like weekly announcements about a new thing discovered?
We could look into that. If this goes anything like the last 5 years, there won't be new things every week. So that might get very old very fast of, yep, we're still working. See you next week. You know? But if there's I mean, Redbook's a good example of, if there's a thing that we as a community are kind of taking a look at this instant, it wouldn't be bad to do an announcement post about it. The only worry about that is, like, we actually don't know if it's right still. In a month, it could have been absolutely nothing, and we've wasted our time. And if we put too much effort into pulling as many people as possible onto that one thing, it means no one's been exploring what our backups or other options are in that meantime. So I have like a little bit of hesitation to push too hard for everyone to be focused on the same thing, because the spread of looking into this in the long run has worked out very well for us for finding information. Like, when one thing fails, as long as other people were working on different things, you have all these other things that you can now shift your focus to. So I'm a little hesitant to push too hard for everyone to be on the same thing.
If we ever find like something like definitive though, like an onion link, maybe just make an announcement or something.
Obviously.
Though I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if we found something definitive, if we got even one sentence that we were 100% confirmed was intended out of the Liber Primus, that'll be the biggest news there's been in half a decade. There's no way anyone's gonna miss it. I can promise that.
Low chance of happening.
Nox, the weKan is set up. There's comment permissions, comment only, and like regular edit and add cards only permissions, and then admin like on the board, so you can change board settings.
Okay.
So I know what.
So we can't do. We can definitely not do like approval for people's submission. Okay.
Hold on. I just fucked it up.
I've just possibly had another idea.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, by the way, hi, just appeared again. I noticed something. I was looking through the Discord earlier, and I noticed we're missing any sort of like rules or anything.
Any sort of what?
Like rules.
So far, that was intentional, but I'll absolutely hear you out on this.
No, I'm just thinking it might be worth having something because unless there's something set in stone, then you can't really moderate it.
I think like we should have rules to solve problems.
Rules, not roles. Sorry, I totally. Yeah, the fact we don't have roles is intentional. The fact we don't have rules is not. We're trying to formulate exactly what those are.
Yeah.
We pretty much have two right now. One of them is the very general and should probably be worded better, which is don't be shit to each other. That's the primary
that probably
rule
wants
here.
rewording.
And the other one is don't post fake or unconfirmed cicada puzzles. So far, those are the two that we've needed. We could reword.
And so far, both of them have been broken at least once.
Both have been broken today, but
oh, lovely.
On the other hand, in 1,100 people in, going a couple weeks kind of thing, we've banned, I think now, three people. Yes. 3 people
Is it bad that I can actually keep track on it for once?
No, I think that's amazing. I think that's absolutely telling about the kinds of people that we've collected here.
Normally within the first week of a Discord server, I've banned at least 7 or 8 or 12 or 14 people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, back in 2014 on IRC, we were banning 40 people a day. Like, it was... Yeah. It was just what when someone joined, it was you had the ban ready just in case because it saved you time. And that's just not been what's going on here. Yes, the spike was because of the documentary. We were close to 200 people before the documentary, and now we're at 1,100 in here.
Holy moly.
So this past week has been absolutely madness.
In other words, Nox, get working on another documentary.
I'm working on more videos. Does that count?
Oh yes, that's amazing.
Yes, that does count because my nights are getting very boring now.
Yes,
After managing to get through the whole of your channel in about an hour and a half, I was very disappointed, to be honest.
They take a shit ton of time. Like, there's so much... Like, usually it's like a week of redo... Because I redo every puzzle step to make sure there's no issues and no errors anywhere.
Yeah.
And then after
or nothing
redoing...
else that comes up.
Yeah. And then after redoing all the cryptographic steps a bit, I have to then try to find a way to explain that to someone who doesn't know the cryptography, right? Anyway. Yes, I can do way more than once every 6 months MCL. It's just before this I was working on a documentary instead, so couldn't.
That was probably more useful anyway.
I think so too. I mean, my videos, gradually moved people in, and it was useful for people who were already working on it.
Also,
it certainly didn't bring 1,100 people in and start actual work again.
Can
it's
I
a big
just
difference.
make a point to anyone that's on Twitter Does anyone just want to, if you haven't, retweet the documentary post, please and thank you?
True. It's done an amazing
See if we can
amount
pull
for us
more
all
people
finding
in.
each other. So I think there was a lot of people kind of interested in cicada all over the place who just did not know where to collect.
Like, literally, I had no idea about it until the documentary introduced me to it.
I agree, Noliism. The problem is 2014 requires knowledge from 2013, so I can't do them out of order. Like, the explanation, yeah.
And not just that, we can't really do 2014 yet because we don't
We're not
know
done.
what the end answer is going to be.
Yeah, for example, the Gematria Primus that we're using on the runes was released in 2013, right? So, like, if I hadn't done the 2013 at least up to that point, I couldn't have referenced it properly in 2014 without doing a few days of 2013 out of order in the 2014 video. It just didn't work.
And Nox, did you mention something earlier about us getting cheese bites?
Us getting what?
There's a guy in chat named Cheesy Bites.
Oh, right.
There is a guy in chat named Cheesy Bites. I was answering Cheesy Bites.
I thought you said that we were getting cheese bites.
No.
I feel stupid now.
Surprise, our Discord got sponsored.
Man, that'd be great.
In a minute, Nox, I'm gonna DM you something that I found at work last night, and like it'll creep you out. So
sounds good. QWERTY, that's kind of what General Questions was made for. We named it Noob Questions off the bat.
Whoa! What the?
It was originally.
I guess that is.
It was originally called Newbie Questions, and new people would come in, not use it, and then when we talked, we were like, this is an obviously new question, and there's a channel just for you, and they're like, I don't want to go in Newbie Questions and sound like I'm an idiot.
Well, maybe worded a bit differently.
Someone has some white noise on their mic.
Yeah, I kicked him. So yeah, we renamed it General Questions, in the hopes that people would actually ask questions, because yes, when it was Newbie Questions, they felt offended by that and wouldn't use it.
You can just call it like for newcomers, and
yeah, I could rename
newcomers
it
obviously
Newcomer
will-
Questions for sure.
Someone posted a copy pasta in general and shit posting.
They sounded like even more idiots not using it.
well, I mean, Nox, you've
He
got
was also
something
the one
interesting in your
spamming white
DMs
noise.
now.
Okay, he was also the one spamming white noise in the thing. So I'm just gonna.
And when I noticed that last night whilst I was at work, it proper shit me up.
I will check it in just a little bit.
But I'm hoping that when you check it, it makes sense why it shit me up quite a bit.
Alright, I was gonna name this Newcomer Questions. That's way better than Newbie Questions. The fact that you can't, like, capitalize or put spaces in channel names, but you can in voice channel names, messes me up. Like, why Discord? Why is that a thing?
I don't know. Ask people who work on Discord.
Alright.
And although I don't work at Discord, I can answer that. It's because it's the same reason that with certain channels you can't put emojis in the name because it's got a tendency to crash the server.
Oh, nice.
And then there's me.
Yeah, then there's Taiwo's name. Like,
and
to be honest, I was genuinely surprised when I saw that hasn't broken the server yet.
It used to break, you know, like when there's an image with an invalid source in the browser?
It really used
Oh,
to.
yeah.
And it
Stuff
comes
like
up
that
with
used
that
to
like little
break.
icon with
When-
the three shapes.
by the way, on the overlay I use, that's what your icon looks like. What your profile picture looks like. Like a broken link icon.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was quite interesting actually, because when Discord first released the iOS app, if Taiwo was to actually be here, everyone on the iOS app, their fucking iPhone would restart.
Oh my god.
Literally, every time you try to log into Discord, your iPhone would restart.
So, before we stray too far from the topic, anyone else have anything that they would like us, organization-wise, to implement? Anything anyone else has thought of over the week that was obnoxious to work with, or could make us more efficient, happier?
I'll tell you what was obnoxious to work with. Trying to mention Taiwo.
Taiwo, are you against us just like giving you a server nickname?
We could just give me a nickname if you really want to.
Or was Taiwo just obnoxious?
I'm gonna rename you Taiwo, but you're a mod,
Okay, can
so
I
you can
be
fix it
can I
later.
be a dot?
I think if you go to the
A
roles
dot
of
would
the-
be good enough.
Yeah.
You are now a
Because to
dot.
be honest,
There we go.
There we go.
I think that's a good compromise.
That's a good compromise.
to be honest, I've been trying to find some of your posts to find info, and I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can.
Hooray.
It's mostly an attempt to minimize the number of private messages I get.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I think those are out of date, Beto, because I haven't changed it since I got the new computer. Also, shout out to just like casually linking my Twitch and voice posting.
Everybody just take a look at this real quick. Subscribe if you...
Yeah, I know.
Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime.
Yeah, I mean...
Next item on the agenda.
actually,
What do you guys
hang
think
on.
about Twitch Prime?
Yeah, Twitch Prime, hey, it's...
Did you guys know that if you have a Twitch Prime subscription, you can subscribe to one person on Twitch for absolutely...
Please do not
Do
pay
you want to
Nox.
help me cheat Bezos out of some money? Because I've got the way.
Please do not pay Nox because it will just go towards the fucking bookshelf.
It will. It's true.
Literally, I think the next thing that Nox wants to buy is like the full $250 copy of Redbook.
I might be considering it.
I wonder
You're
if in
off
an
your-
alternate
you are
dimension-
off your nuts. You are actually off your rocker if you consider that.
I'm not gonna do it. I don't have the fucking money to do it, but that's fine. Oh my god.
Like, what if people subscribed to you and then you did have the money?
So, it's important to note that I'm using OBS to record this conversation, right? And because Beto's just
Did
linked
you remember?
my...
Did you remember to turn off your webcam this time?
Yeah, but what isn't turned off just by default is alert notifications from Twitch.
Oh,
and so
for
now that
fuck's
Beto has sent my Twitch in the comments, I'm getting like follow notifications over this video.
Oh no! It was perfect. We had it all figured out.
Are you actually getting followers?
Yeah, I am. Every... Like, I've
Dude,
gotten...
You have 331 followers. That can't be a coincidence.
Oh my god. I've doubled my followers, I think, since the
It'd be
documentary
even
came
better
out.
if it was 3,301, but you know.
That's what I was saying. I mean, it couldn't hurt, right, guys?
Yeah.
There's 1,000 people in this Discord. We can bump it up.
True.
Wait,
Everyone
shit,
would need to follow 3 times, but...
We need 3,000.
Yes.
Or just get 1033.
Oh yeah,
There you
could
go.
do that one.
We could do that. Anyway, that's I'm gonna give one more try for. Oh my god.
Or we could just use Inspect Element.
That's true. I'm gonna give one more try to anyone who has anything particular that organization-wise that they'd like us to implement to make your lives easier. And if there isn't any, I'll stop recording this and we can all stop talking. Keep talking, it just won't be relevant to the topic anymore. Is there anything else before we cut
20
it?
minutes ago.
Ronan, the app is not only chosen, it's being installed right now.
Oh, it's installed. It's done.
It is installed. So it will be set up soon. We'll set it up probably today and then link it to everyone.
Nox, I know we talked about this the other day. Have you got any sort of process for picking out moderators in the future, or...?
So far, we haven't needed any. Anymore.
Bribery?
No, but I think we could do with some more Eurozone ones.
I mean, Tyle's Euro, Beto's Euro. I think half of them are
But I
Euro
see
right
I see what you're hinting at, and
Yes.
It's not me hinting. I completely forgot that I was talking to him about it the other day. It just came up.
We may need separate Rex as well with, Brexit.
We need separate what?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Don't you ever wonder if in an alternate dimension, Cicada 3301 has already been solved?
No, I don't wonder
Well,
that.
snap your finger and let's go there and check.
We are the one dimension in which it will be solved.
I think he's trying to wrap up the video, guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean,
Well, then
what
see
I'm
you later,
getting,
guys, and let's see you in the next video.
what I'm getting is no one has anything else, hey?
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and
All I'm gonna
subscribe.
say is I
Smash
have
the
just
like.
cringed a lot.
That's okay. I'll probably cut that part. It's fine.
Oh,
And it's gonna be unlisted. Only people here in this Discord are even gonna see it, right? Like I'm not publicly posting it. It's gonna be unlisted and then linked in our announcements page for people who didn't
but that's
catch
no
this meeting.
fun.
Yeah, let's not be douche tubers.
Yes, I'm trying desperately not to be a douche tuber.
But if you guys do want to like and subscribe, you know what the button is. Don't forget to smash that bell.
I think the worrying bit is I don't even think I'm subscribed to Nox yet.
That's okay. I've gotten so many since the documentary came out. It's been overwhelming. Okay, I'm gonna cut the video.
How many are you at now?
I know it's more than the subreddit, which makes me laugh a lot. But the subreddit for 3301 stuff is less than the Nox videos.
Well, I mean, also the subreddit doesn't necessarily have useful material.
Yeah, it's true. All right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna stop.
Leafa doesn't